So thank you so much for joining me today. And the first question I have is that you mentioned that some Indian wines are of superior quality to imports. How do you plan to change consumer perceptions regarding Indian wines and what role will branding play in this effort?
So, Rehan, on India, while it is known for some very high quality products like tea and rice, etc., India traditionally has not been known to make wine,
Hmm.
and this is a perception issue which we are trying to overcome. And the best and most efficient way we find is to just do tastings. Let the product speak for itself. So at Fratelli, we have since last 15 odd years done multiple tastings, and we continue to do so. We'll organize just wine tastings. We'll organize sit down dinners. Any opportunity we get for people to sample our wine is the best way to overcome that perception.
Definitely. Got it. So moving on now. So with the goal of becoming a 650 crore enterprise by 2028, what are your key milestones for scaling up production and expanding distribution channels both domestically and internationally?
So for us to reach this milestone of 650 odd crores, which is essentially trying to make our business about 3x of what it is today, we of course need to plant more vineyards. We need to do more contract farming agreements. We need to add capacity, which we have recently done. We are a 4 million liter capacity today. We are adding another 4 million liter capacity. We're getting into more premiumization and also expanding our product range. I think you're aware that we're considering launching a ready to drink product under the name Shotgun. So those are the things which will help us get to our milestone.
What about ever expansion internationally in any kind of direction that way?
Um, uh, while there are many opportunities in Europe, Australia, etc., because a
Right.
lot of wine businesses there have some stress, especially after the Russia-Ukraine war. At this point of time, we are only focusing on India, manufacturing in India and selling in India.
Got it. So the third question I have is that Tina Rubber has seen significant success in the stock market in recent years. So how do you plan to leverage that success for future growth, particularly in terms of raising debt and fresh equity to increase production capacity and market share?
No, it's a great question. Once your company becomes of a certain value on the stock market and you have some traction
Yeah.
from shareholders because you have a proven record, many channels for fundraise open up, and we are considering some channels as we speak because we have some capex lined up for this year and next year. And while we have taken some debt for doing those works, we are also exploring other options to raise equity, either in the form of QIP or equity rights issue. These are some of the tools available to us now that we are listed, because we are listed and we have some track record to show.
Got it. So staying within the range of Tina Rubber, so what are the new technologies currently being developed in the R&D department of Tina Rubber to sustain future growth over the next decade? Any kind of new technology that you're looking at along those lines?
Again, fabulous question. The most interesting project we are working on is to find ways of blending waste rubber with waste plastic. That will open up whole new avenue for growth for us. Essentially, recycled rubber is always cheaper than recycled plastic. So if we can find a way for rubber to be blended with plastic to make some new compounds, you can not only reduce the cost, but because of the flexibility of rubber, you can add durability.
Okay,
So
got
that's the kind of work we are doing right now on seeing where we can find the best compounds possible, blending the two materials.
Right, got it. So finally, one of the last questions I have is that could you please share some insight into the strategy of pursuing a reverse merger with Tina Trade versus a fresh IPO? So what reasoning supports this approach and what lessons have been post this merger? And how do you think the strategy has benefited for Wines in the long term?
See, for Fratelli, we always wanted to keep the business in the family. So it was never our intention to, sell out to a strategic or something like that.
Mhm.
And the only way a promoter can, somehow monetize a part of your success without having to sell to a strategic, is by listing the company.
Yeah.
So via the reverse merger option, we had a very good route to fast track tracking the listing of Fratelli.
Got
And
it.
that is why it was a very appealing option for us. The result is apparent, and the whole reverse merger thing happened, quite seamlessly. And as a result, Fratelli is now listed.
Got it. Makes sense. So the final question I have is, what is your number one piece of advice for up and coming entrepreneurs in the industries your companies operate in?
Um, See, there is my advice, I think, at this stage will be more generic, because both businesses are very different. There's no one,
Right.
advice relating to wine business or rubber business which can sort of,
Right.
which is applicable, because they're very different industries. But an advice for, certainly a young budding entrepreneur like you, who's keen on becoming an entrepreneur yourself and running a business, I think curiosity is super important. You just have to question everything, and
Right.
only then you can challenge the status quo. Only then you can think of doing something different. And if you keep questioning and challenging and remain curious, certainly you will find better and more efficient ways to do even the same thing. And
Mm.
I think that would be my advice. I think just question everything and keep challenging the status quo.
Got it. That's some great advice. Thank you so much. And that concludes the interview today. Thank you.